Alright, hey guys, so with dungeons hopefully coming out soon, I want to talk about the ranger class. Now, the ranger class, there are quite a few amount of bows in this game, and deciding on the best one might be a little tough since each of them kind of has their own unique thing to them. But let's go over them. I want to talk about the main two bows people use as their driver weapons right now, and those are the Mosquito bows and Runaan's bow. So, this Mosquito bow has a lot of stats much higher than Runaan, so you think, hey, this is the better weapon. And it kind of is if you have the mana to sustain, using the weapon. However, that is not the case, unfortunately. So, Runaan's fires an additional arrow, which is very useful. Having two extra arrows being fired out is pretty big. If they, and since it all crits, it hits pretty hard. However, Mosquito Bow gives you 20% increased damage. It gives you healing. The issue is it takes 11% of your max mana. If this took like 5%, it would be perfectly fine. So I'm just gonna do a quick little damage test to kind of show off the damage. So that did about 32k, right? Here's Mosquito Bow, just no ability. It's 30k, so that's pretty close, right? With a charge shot, it did 36k. So it did 3k more with its special ability, or 4k more. But the issue is once you fire off enough shots, you'll be out of mana. Like the lower mana you are, the better you are, since you'll be able to fire off more shots, right? But the problem also lies with your mana regen. So I can put down my overflux, right? I can just keep putting out the shots, but I will not have enough mana regen to help, me keep sustaining my shots. Like you see, I had to wait a bit before I keep firing, which is kind of unfortunate since, you want to get the max damage. Now, this bow has been buffed a few times, and I was actually surprised to see its damage is higher now, because it was really close with Runaan's, and for it to be above, definitely has to do with my foraging level and other stuff, but surprising to see it did more. If you have a low enough mana pool, you can make it better than Runaan's, and it doesn't have to have the other arrows hit. It's something to think about going forward, but neither of these bows might not be the best option in dungeons since it's close quarters. It seems close quarters. We don't know what a boss room looks like. Let's talk about the other three bows we have. So you have the Hurricane Bow, the Scorpion Bow, and the Explosive Bow. So Explosive Bow, its damage is pretty good. About 2k, 3k, so it's not too impressive. But a full charge is not going to be used for. This is more help clearing a room, by doing explosions and stuff. More so close quarters. People use this for clearing mobs for Slayer and stuff. I don't think it'd be the best option, but if they're low HP mobs, 3k HP, totally worth using. But I'm gonna put it out of contention for now. The other two options are Scorpion and Hurricane. Scorpion is interesting. It has a really neat ability. Slows the victim and deals 35 times your strength for 6 seconds per second as well. So let's go take a look. How much strength do I have right now? 260. So 35 times that. That's over 10k. I'm doing over 10k a second to the dragon, and I'm not sure if this stacks every time you hit it. You're getting 10k a second, so it does have some use. But if you want to use it with Runaan's or something, or Mosquito, my apologies, it would work a little better, as in it wouldn't. It's weird. Kind of tongue down my words there, but this thing was good at one point. If anyone remembers the meta where it did ghost damage, it did a lot, but now it takes a lot of mana, and all your mana is gonna be converted into using your Mosquito Bow, so I wouldn't really bother using it at all. Had to correct myself there. Alright. On to the Hurricane Bow. And I believe the Hurricane Bow might be the best weapon. Since we have the full charge, right? Every arrow can crit on this weapon. So we do 15k, and then all the other arrows do 13k. So that is 5. Let's just do 5 times 13k, right? That is 65k damage. Now, it's but, the other arrows don't home. That is true. And the spread on this thing is pretty radical. It could be a little bit of an issue, since that spread is honestly pretty crazy. I didn't even realize the spread was that bad, as you can see from the trailing out. However, I think it'll be really good in close corridor dungeon, since if you walk into the room, hallway, you shoot, it should push through. If not, I would say this is like maybe I'd put it as usable at least. If you can't afford a Runaan's, you can't afford a Mosquito bow, I'd probably pick up a Hurricane bow since it might be useful. Now its spread might be too large for the the area where you need to shoot. But even if only like the 3 arrows hit, right? Like those 3 arrows in the middle, you are still dealing more damage than a Runaan's and what's the other one? Mosquito. If you want consistent level damage, I'd go with Runaan or Mosquito, since they're consistent, although they're a little more pricey. And yeah, but they're definitely much better than you don't have to risk hitting the wall and wasting arrows and all those other things, since we don't know like how stats are gonna work. But yeah, surprisingly, Mosquito #1 if you have the mana to cast it. If you have low enough mana pool, you can spam cast it, use Overflux, you're golden. If not, you don't want to manage that stuff, just go with Runaan's, slightly lesser damage, and damage shouldn't matter in dungeons anyway. But yeah, I'm wrapped up there. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Hopefully in the pet update or dungeons. See you guys. Bye.